So today I'm going to walk you through building your season. And over the weekend I shared this article you can see here. Everything you see today is going to be linked up in the video explanation. You can just click through it. So this article is called Smart Season Planning. It's worth a read. Key things I want to highlight to you. Number one thing, endurance sport is tough enough doing it right. And what do I mean by doing it right? Well, first thing is, think back over the last year to when you were the most fit. And also consider the time of year where doing race preparation is easiest to fit into your life. Those two things are going to drive where it makes sense to put your key events. And then also remember that if you're constantly tired and not connecting with the people around you, it's going to be tough to have successful relationships. So the larger goal is kind of this entire life with meaning, and then fit your sport in with phased blocks where it makes sense and it doesn't cause a lot of disruption in the rest of your life. More inside the article that you can read. So before we go into next year, what I recommend you do is think about this year that just passed. And I created and what I mean by that is this is basically a solid 3 days of training I had at the last week. And it gives me a feeling for where my current stamina is. And so I'll just walk you through that. So it's a ride each day, and the total riding adds up to about 7 hours. And then I did split between, this is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, split between Friday and Saturday. I got about 20K worth of running in. So all in all, it's sort of a broken half Ironman done over 2 days with a little bit extra the day before on that Friday. So it's a pretty solid kind of block. Now, based on this amount of stamina, didn't put me in a big hole, left me tired for a few days, but it was just a lighter week and I got through it. So based on this kind of block, lets me know that if I want to do a half Ironman, say early next year, early meaning early summer for me, I'm probably going to be able to ramp up for that. It's not a big reach. And that's an important thing to consider. It's basically, where's your stamina today and what's reasonable based on today for next year. So this document you can see right now is just called Athlete Year on a page. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go File, make a copy, and we're going to change it to Gordo 2023 on a page. Boom. And that's all you need to do, and you're going to have your own version of that sheet. And as it loads, what we do is we enter the Monday that you want. So let's do, it's already in there, November 28th. And then the event I'm thinking about for my half Ironman is this one. It's the Boras Triathlon. It's run by a friend of mine, Jonas Kolting, and it's the 3rd of June, 2023. So back to my year on a page, and we go Boras 70.3. And we bop that in, and then we go weeks to go. We change that to a 1. And we see that we're about 26 weeks out. Plenty of time to get ready for that event. The other thing that you can do is you want to think about, well, where is the load going to benefit my race the most? It's not December, it's not January. It's the period that's 2 to 11 weeks out from the race. Specifically, 2 to 7 weeks within that 7-week range. So if we go there and we highlight a 2-week block there, shade it, and we highlight another 2-week block, say there, actually, there, there. And that's the rough outline of kind of the basics. Now, what time of year am I most fit? What time of year are you most fit? When are you most likely to race well? For me, it's not actually in June. I tend to race best at the end of August. So this first event that I might be targeting is probably not going to be my best fitness of the year, just the way it works for me. Now, I've coached athletes where May is usually their best month, and so a race like this would be great because they'd be able to do really solid training in May, rest up a little bit, and they'd be good to go. So wherever you place your number one event, I recommend you do that so it aligns with when you're normally most fit in the year. And this past year, I was really fit in August. I didn't do an event, and I still had my normal slowdown in September. So don't fight it. Go with it. Go with your normal patterns, what works for you. Now, my stretch goal is September 4th, Montillo. And there, I'll do a little shading again. It might look something like this. Now, Tilo is it's about the equivalent of an Ironman in terms of duration, but it's just a swim run event. And it's a very long day. And 2 blocks. The first block would be more run focused for me, and then the second block would be specific workouts, so longer days. Probably more cautious on the running because if I'm doing it, I don't have much time to recover if I give myself a niggle or something. Now, with this half Ironman here, I'm bringing my son with me, and we're doing a sprint try the Friday evening before, and we're doing a swim run on the Sunday. So actually what that half Ironman turns into is a broken high volume weekend. And that lets me see, if I tolerate that, whether I might be able to get myself ready for a Tilo approximately 14, 15 weeks later. And then as well, on this trip to Sweden, my son and I are going to do another swim run event 2 weeks after this first one, and then we're going to go home. So I put in my events, and then what I also recommend you do on this one pager is you put in all your other life stuff. Travel, trips, work events, anything where it might take the priority over training. And so you, on a single page, you can see everything, and it lets you lay out what your year is going to look like. And that's pretty much it in these early stages when you're in the winter. Your job across the winter is stay consistent, work on personal limiters, and ideally don't fight the weather. So if you're going to work on some aspect of fitness, it might be run frequency, getting your long run workout up. It might be your swimming, increasing swim frequency, getting your long swim, a consistent long swim, avoiding long gaps in whatever your key sport is, whether it's triathlon, running, swimming, cycling. And then also addressing a personal limiter. Usually that might be strength-oriented or perhaps mobility-oriented. The idea being you want to get to early spring in great shape. And by great shape, I mean good stamina, your body's in good shape, you're feeling good, the immune system's up. And then you're going to use the natural upswing that happens in spring to help you bring your load up. Remembering that these shaded areas are where you want to put the load that's going to most benefit the race. The first shaded area is usually a more volume-oriented block, and then that second shaded area is specific workouts designed to prepare you for the specific demands of your race. So hit me up in the comments if you have any questions, if there's any holes to this, and I'll do my best to answer them or point you in the direction of additional resources. Thanks.